The Senate will come to order. The Secretary will call the roll.
Alvarado, Betancourt, Birdwell, Blanco, Campbell, Cook, Creighton, Eckhart, Flores, Gutierrez, Hagenbu, Hall, Hancock, Hinojosa Nueces, Hinojosa Hidalgo, Huffman, Hughes, Johnson, King, Colcourse, Menendez, Middleton, Miles, Nichols, Parker, Paxton, Perry, Schwartner, Sparks, West, Zaffarini.
A quorum is present. Please rise for the invocation to be delivered by Reverend Kason Huddleston with Freedom Place Church in Rowlett, Texas.
Let us pray. Mighty God, we lift up the senators of our great state today. Guide them by the virtues of honesty, decency, humility, and above all, wisdom. Be with them, Lord, so they can maximize the hours of this week. Help them to think clearly without confusion, to speak honestly without animosity, to debate without division, and to decide courageously without contention. Father, may their rhetoric honor you and deal with the issues and not personalities. As they attend to the work before them, give them the wisdom of Solomon, the obedience of Abraham, the administrative ability of Joseph, the humility of Moses, the courage of Esther, the patience of Jeremiah, heart of David, the strength of Samson, the speed of Elijah, the insight of Daniel, and the faith of the 3 Hebrew children, the boldness of Apostle Paul, and most of all, the compassion and love of Jesus. Continue to pour your grace over them to work as patriots who love you and count it a high privilege to serve as leaders of our beloved state. And it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Huddleston. You may be seated in the gallery. The Dean of the Senate moves to dispense with the reading of yesterday's journal. Is there objection? The chair hears none. Motion is adopted. The following message from the governor. The secretary will read the message.
To the Senate of the 89th Legislature, regular session, I ask the advice, consent, and confirmation of the Senate with respect to the following appointments. To be members of the Guadalupe Bronco River Authority Board of Directors, Stephen B. Steve Eric Gonzalez, Jennifer L. Storm, Buda. To be judge of the 250th Judicial District Court, Travis County, Corey R. Liu, Austin. Respectfully submitted, Greg Abbott, Governor of Texas, to nominations.
Chair lays out the following resolution. The secretary will read the resolution.
Senate Resolution 203 by Hinojosa of Hidalgo and Hinojosa of Nueces, recognizing March 5th, 2025 as Texas State Aquarium Day at the state capitol.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Senator Hinojosa on the resolution.
Sorry, Mr. President, so I jumped the gun there. But thank you, Mr. President, members. And today we have a very special day, Senate Resolution 203. And we have a very special delegation from Corpus Christi, from the State Aquarium. Senate Bill 203 recognizes March 5th, 2025 as State Aquarium Day at the Capitol. This day is set aside to honor the contributions of the Texas State Aquarium for our state. The Texas State Aquarium is recognized as a significant economic force, contributing $195 million to the state of Texas in 2023 and supporting a workforce of over 1,300 employees, not only in the local communities, but throughout the coastal bend area. The aquarium is noted for its role in wildlife resiliency and environmental education, positioning Texas as a leader in these areas. It is involved in wildlife conservation efforts through the Center for Wildlife Rescue, which is the nation's leading and largest wildlife rescue program.
Members, could we have order?
Thank you, Mr. President. The aquarium operates the nation's only emergency operations center dedicated to wildlife disaster preparedness, response, and recovery, working in partnership with state and federal agencies. During the recent winter storm, the Wildlife Rescue Center, working alongside Texas Parks and Wildlife and many others, rescued over 900 green sea turtles from the cold. To date, the center has rehabilitated and returned more than 5,000 land and sea animals to their natural habitats. The aquarium workforce development programs have provided educational opportunities to over 5,000 students, equipping them with essential skills and knowledge for careers in conservation. And members, if you have never taken your families to visit the State Aquarium, you should. It is an amazing display of sea life and the work they do. It is beyond description what a joy it is to our families and our children to be able to see right next to them dolphins, sharks, all type of sea animal habitat. And today I have some special guests at the gallery, and I will recognize and call your names. And please stand when I call your name. We have Jesse Gilbert, who's the president and CEO of the Texas State Aquarium. Jesse. We have Jennifer Vela, the Chief Government Affairs and Communications Officer. We have Justin Sefik, the Chief Strategy and Operation Officer. Emma Gilbert, Director of Animal Care at the Aquarium. And Dr. Osbert Blow, Vice Chairman of the Aquarium for the Board of Trustees. And members, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize, and I don't know where she is, she's here somewhere around, my wife, Amanda Hinojosa, who is also a board member of the Aquarium. And please help me welcome all of these members from this great state of the Aquarium to the state capitol. Thank you very much for being here.
Chair recognizes Senator Hinojosa of Nueces.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. And thank you, Senator Hinojosa, for bringing forward this resolution today to recognize Texas State Aquarium Day here at the state capitol. The Texas State Aquarium is a world-class institution that provides incredible educational opportunities, unforgettable exhibits, and vital conservation efforts. From interactive learning experiences to stunning marine life displays, it offers both recreation and education, inspiring a love for ocean conservation. Whether exploring coral reefs, watching sea turtles and dolphins, or learning about wildlife rehabilitation, the Texas State Aquarium remains a treasured destination for every Texan. Thank you for all the work you do, and welcome to your state capitol. It's just an honor and a pleasure to have you here and to recognize you. It's been a staple for our Coastal Bend area for so many years. I know my children have enjoyed going there, my nieces, nephews. It's just been a wonderful educational facility for our area. Great for economic growth and tourism. So just thank you all so much for all the work you do, and welcome again to your state capitol.
Chair recognizes Senator Hinojosa of Hidalgo to close on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President, members, and thank you, Senator Hinojosa. Adam Hinojosa, I move adoption of Senate Resolution 203.
Is there objection to the adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. Chair lays out the following resolution. The secretary will read the resolution.
Senate Resolution 172 by Perry and Hagenbu, recognizing March 5th, 2025 as Wichita Falls Day at the state capitol.
Chair recognizes Senator Perry on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. Today we recognize and appreciate the delegation from Wichita Falls for visiting the Capitol to celebrate Wichita Falls Day. Wichita Falls was founded in 1882 after the arrival of the Fort Worth and Denver City Railroad, which helped establish an agricultural and transportation hub. It was named the county seat in 1883 and officially incorporated in 1889. Wichita Falls' growth through the 20th century includes expansion of railroads, oil discovery in 1918, and the establishment of Shepherd Air Force Base in 1941. Wichita Falls earned the nickname Factory City due to its strong manufacturing base. It has a diverse economy with agricultural, oil, military, manufacturing, and healthcare that have contributed to its economic growth. Wichita Falls is known for its resilience, community, and quality of life. They overcame challenges like the devastating 1979 tornado, demonstrating strong recovery efforts. It's home to Wichita Falls Independent School District, Midwestern State University, Vernon College, and top-tier medical facilities. It's a family-friendly city with extensive park systems, cultural institutions, and recreational amenities. Wichita Falls has a strategic location and has positioned itself within 2 hours of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and Oklahoma City. Shepherd Air Force Base is a major military installation that contributes to the national defense and local economy by training those pilots that we so much depend on. It is also a regional healthcare hub and provides medical service to North Texas and southern Oklahoma. I'd like to recognize today, and I think Senator Hagenbu is also, we split that city almost right down the middle. I actually represent one half of the Midwestern University, and he has the other half, but they're all Texans. They're all part of Senate District 28, in my opinion. They're the greatest people you ever want to meet. They're West Texas, just good old gritty, independent speaking. Having lived in Lubbock and coming through a tornado back in 72, in 1979, Wichita Falls had a similar event. It's really amazing to see out of despair where a city moves to on the next level after one of those events. The community engagement, the involvement, and the rebuild makes it a better city than even before those tragedies. Wichita Falls is a shining example of that resilience and perseverance. With that, I'll allow my other senators that want to speak to Wichita Falls Day.
Chair recognizes Senator Hagenbu to speak on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Senator Perry, for presenting this resolution and recognizing the city of Wichita Falls. It's great to see the folks here from the delegation, Judge Johnson, Mayor Short, and everyone else here. Great to see you. Great to recognize you at your capital today. Members, Wichita Falls has a lot going for it, and I'll reiterate a few things that Senator Perry spoke about. In education, of course, Wichita Falls has Midwestern State University. With strong leadership of President Haney, the university is doing a great job of developing the workforce for the future for the region. And the campus really is one of, if not the most beautiful in the state of Texas. In business, Wichita Falls is strong in aerospace, healthcare, I think going to be a great distribution hub, and with some deals that may come through in data centers as well. In national security, as Senator Perry mentioned, Shepherd Air Force Base provides critical military training. You know, about half of all Air Force personnel are trained at Shepherd Air Force Base, and the base contributes over $3 billion a year to the Texas economy. Because of the base, there's a large active duty and veterans population, which is well supported by the Wichita Falls community. Last fall, I had the honor of speaking at the Veterans Day ceremony at Veterans Memorial Plaza near Lake Wichita. I was impressed with the memorial site and the active group of local veterans present. And the spirit of volunteerism is strong in Wichita Falls. The city hosts events like the world-famous Hotter Than Hell 100-mile bike race every year in August, and the annual Kiwanis Club Pancake Festival, where they nearly set the Guinness World Book record for pancakes baked in one day a couple of years ago. I had the opportunity to be a guest chef there this year. I was amazed by the thousands of people who turned out in the positive atmosphere. Senator Perry, as you know, Wichita Falls has great people and a great future ahead. I look forward to working with you and local leadership to help bring that about. Thank you, Mr. President.
Members, I'd like to recognize today as March 5th, 2025, as Wichita Falls Days at the Texas Senate and welcome the visiting delegation to their state capital. Please stand up and give a wave. Thank you guys for being here and visiting with us today.
Is there objection to the adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. Resolution's adopted. Chair recognizes Senator Menendez to introduce the Doctor of the Day.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I'm honored to welcome today Dr. Laura Neatfield as our Physician of the Day. She serves as a core faculty and director of preclinical studies for the Christus Health and Texas A&M University College of Medicine in San Antonio. And Dr. Neatfield is an adjunct clinical faculty within the University of the Incarnate Word and the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio. She received her family medicine training at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, where she also completed her Master's Teacher's Fellowship. Prior to moving to San Antonio, she spent several years at the Baylor College of Medicine as an assistant professor, serving the Harris Health System, and she worked for the Harris County Public Health Refugee Screening Program as well. It is clear that Dr. Neatfield is dedicated to her profession as a physician, to her patients, and to her greater community, and we are truly blessed to have her here with us today. Members, you may have noticed that Dr. Neatfield is not by herself. She, as a consummate teacher that she always is, she brought two of her residents with her, Dr. David Walden and Dr. Sarah Walden. And there is a relation, they're married, and we're very, very blessed to have them. Please join me in recognizing our doctors of the day and help me welcome them to their Texas Senate. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Chair lays out the following resolution. The secretary will read the resolution.
Senate Resolution 202 by Blanco, recognizing March 5th, 2025 as Town of Pecos City and Reeves County Day at the state capitol.
Chair recognizes Senator Blanco on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. I'm delighted to author Senate Resolution 202 to recognize the town of Pecos City and Reeves County at the Texas Capitol. Today, members, I'm joined on the floor by Reeves County Judge Leo Hung, Pecos Mayor Teresa Winkles, and Pecos Councilman Conrad Saldana. We have more community leaders from the town of Pecos City and Reeves County up in the gallery. I think they're up. If you're in the gallery, please stand. So Reeves County sits at the heart of the Trans-Pecos region, where the rugged beauty of West Texas meets the steady current of the Pecos River. It's a place where hardworking families have built their lives around ranching, farming, and energy production. At the center of it all is the town of Pecos City, the largest city in Reeves County and the second fastest growing small town in the nation, according to Forbes. That growth is a direct reflection of the opportunities being created here, the industries that are thriving, and the people who are working to ensure that this region continues to grow. Reeves County, located within the Permian Basin, is one of Texas' top producing oil counties, and each day thousands of barrels of crude oil come from this land, fueling Texas' economy and reinforcing our position as a global leader in energy. Now, the town of Pecos City is also home to one of the most enduring traditions in Texas history. It's the world's first rodeo was held there in July 4th of 1883. That legacy of grit, determination still defines this community today. The people of Pecos and Reeves County don't shy away from hard work. They roll up their sleeves and they just get to work, just as they've done it for generations in West Texas. So to the residents and the leaders who have traveled 100 miles to be here today, thank you for all that you do. It's an honor to represent you and celebrate you in the spirit of the community for your hard work, for your dedication, your leadership, and your commitment to our community is what makes our state stronger. Mr. President and members, please join me in welcoming these outstanding Texans to the Senate chamber. Thank you.
Is there objection to the adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. Chair recognizes Senator Kolkhorst on a recognition.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, it's an honor today to welcome the good folks from the Texas Ambulance Association that have come from across the state of Texas to be here at their Texas Capitol. Founded in 1981, the Texas Ambulance Association pioneered the development of what we know today as the modern EMS in Texas. Beginning with its pivotal involvement in the passage of landmark legislation for Texas's EMS during the 1980s, the TAA has become recognized as the established authoritative source on matters pertaining to ambulance transportation in Texas. The contributions of its dedicated and diverse membership continue to contribute to the mission. And I know that all of us know when you call 911, these are the people that come to your rescue. All of our lives have been impacted and our families' lives have been impacted. We want to thank you for your service. I want to give a special shout out to President Brett Coughlin, class of '83, Brenham High School. Appreciate you being here today. Vice President Charles Hinkle, Secretary Treasurer Aaron Castro, and a lot of other members that have joined us from their board. God bless you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate the job that you do and your dedication. Welcome to your Texas Senate.
Chair recognizes Senator Miles for recognition.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I would like to introduce to you Yolanda C. Richardson. Would you please stand, Ms. Richardson? The President and CEO of Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, the leading advocacy work to prevent and reduce tobacco use, its deadly consequences in the United States and all around the world. Ms. Richardson is a recognized global health expert. She is that, as well as on the agenda of international development, global health, U.S. philanthropy, and corporate social responsibility. Members, would you please help me in welcoming Mrs. Richards? A warm welcome to the state of Texas and to the State Senate of Texas. Welcome, ma'am. Glad to have you with us.
Chair lays out the following resolution. The Secretary will read the resolution.
Senate Resolution 177 by Hinojosa of Nueces, recognizing March 5th, 2025 as Cleburne County Day at the state capitol.
Chair recognizes Senator Hinojosa of Nueces.
Thank you, Mr. President, members. Cleburne County holds a special place in Texas history, known for its pioneering spirit and lasting contributions to agriculture, education, and industry. As the home of the world-renowned King Ranch, Cleburne County has played a vital role in shaping the ranching heritage of our state. But beyond its vast landscapes, Cleburne County is a community built on hard work, innovation, and culture. The county is more than its rich past. It's a hub of opportunity and progress. With Texas A&M University Kingsville at its heart, Cleburne County is dedicated to education and research, fostering the next generation of leaders in agriculture, engineering, and environmental science. Its economy thrives on a balance of industry, tourism, and higher education, ensuring continued growth while preserving the character that makes it unique. Today, we celebrate you, Cleburne County, for your enduring legacy and for your future. The strength of this county lies in its people, the ranchers, educators, business owners, and the community leaders that keep Cleburne County moving forward. Thank you for coming and welcome to your state capitol. I'd like to recognize the delegation that's in the gallery today. We've got County Judge Rudy Madrid and Priscilla Madrid, County Commissioner Chuck Schultz, County Commissioner Marcus Salinas, County Clerk Salvador Barrera III, and from the city of Kingsville, the heart of Cleburne County, we've got the City Commissioner Edna Lopez, City Commissioner Norma Alvarez, City Commissioner Hector Hinojosa, and from TAMUC, Texas A&M University Kingsville, Chief Workforce Development Officer, Dr. Jeffrey West. Thank y'all so much for being here. Welcome to your state capitol.
Is there objection to the adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. Chair lays out the following resolution. The Secretary will read the resolution.
Senate Resolution 194 by Paxton and Hall, recognizing March 4th and 5th, 2025 as Hunt County Days at the state capitol.
Chair recognizes Senator Paxton on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. Members, I would like to ask you to join me in welcoming the Hunt County Days delegation that is here with us today in the gallery. I think you guys are over here. Is that right? Would you all stand? There we go, Hunt County. So glad that you're here. Members, Hunt County is located in northeastern Texas and was established in 1846 out of portions of Fannin and Nacogdoches counties. It was named after Mr. M. Hunt, Jr., who served as the Secretary of the Navy for the Republic of Texas, as well as the Republic's first minister to the United States. It is home to East Texas A&M University and the Greenville Center campus of Paris Junior College. we've got lots of folks that are so involved in the community and from several of the cities, and I'd just like to take a minute to recognize you. So you're standing already, but if you would just wave your hand when I say your name. First of all, we have Hunt County Commissioner Steve Harrison. From the city of Greenville, we have Mayor Jerry Ransom, Mayor Pro Tem Terry Thomas, Councilman Philip Spencer, City Manager Summer Spurlock, CEO of Greenville EDC Greg Sims, Superintendent Dr. Joe Lopez, General Manager of the Greenville Electric Utility Systems, or JUICE, Alicia Hooks, and President and CEO of Greenville Chamber of Commerce, Shelly Corrales. And I just have to say, happy birthday, Shelly. From the city of Lone Oak, we have Mayor Pro Tem Wes Owen and Councilwoman Denise Scott. From the city of Commerce, we have City Manager Howdy Lisenby and Executive Director of Commerce of the EDC, Bonnie Hunter. From the city of Campbell, we have Superintendent Dr. Denise Morgan. I am so thankful that you're here today. Members, would you all join me in recognizing Hunt County Days and welcoming the delegation from Hunt County to the Texas Capitol? Thanks for coming.
Is there objection to the adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The resolution's adopted. Chair lays out the following resolution. The Secretary will read the resolution.
Senate Resolution 176 by Hinojosa of Nueces, recognizing March 5th, 2025 as Port Aransas Day at the state capitol.
Chair recognizes Senator Hinojosa of Nueces.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, Port Aransas is a city like no other, a beloved coastal gem known for its stunning beaches, rich maritime history, and welcoming community. Nestled along the Gulf of America, this vibrant destination has been a haven for fishermen, boaters, and nature enthusiasts who appreciate its natural beauty and relaxed way of life. With its deep ties to tourism and maritime industries, Port Aransas stands as an essential part of Texas's coastal identity. Beyond its reputation as a premier vacation spot, Port Aransas is a thriving and resilient community. Local businesses, from family-owned shops to world-class fishing charters, fuel the city's economy, while events like Sandfest and fishing tournaments draw visitors from across the state. The dedication of its residents, leaders, and business owners ensures that Port Aransas continues to flourish and preserve the coastal charm that makes it unique. Today, we proudly recognize Port Aransas here in the Texas Capitol, celebrating the hardworking people who make it such a special place to visit and a better place to live. Port Aransas embodies the best of Texas's coastal spirit, and I'm proud to stand here and honor the legacy you have made and future you are building. Thank you for coming and welcome to your state capitol. And as I call your name, I'd just like to recognize the delegation here. Please stand. Mayor Wendy Moore, Port Aransas School Superintendent Sharon McKinney, University of Texas Marine Science Institute Dr. Ed Buskey, Chamber CEO Brett Stawar, and of course, our County Judge, Connie Scott. Thank you all so much for being here. If you haven't been to Port Aransas, you need to come by and visit. Thank you and welcome to your state capitol. I move for adoption.
Chair recognizes Senator Colcourse to speak on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Senator Hinojosa, for bringing this important resolution. I share in celebrating Port Aransas as I was blessed to represent them from 2015 all the way through 2021. And I want to say hello to my friends. Mayor, it's good to see you. We knew each other way back when you weren't mayor. And of course, I've served with Connie Hunt in the Texas House and so grateful to her. I want to give a special shout out to Sharon McKinney. Where are you? Stand up. Stand up. And here's why I'm going to say this. With Port Aransas, I went through Hurricane Harvey with them. And I cannot express to y'all the devastation that hurricane did to that island, to Rockport Fulton as well. I mean, it really was, the eye of the storm came over that. And when I met with Sharon, we had no school. We had nothing. We were hauling in temporary buildings. And during that year, what was decided to do, Mr. President, as Chair of Education, was to, kind of put a pause on the A through F. And I think that we gave number grades to you. And I want you to know what this lady did with her team, with those children displaced. I think your score was 94. Am I right on that? That is incredible, and that is leadership in our public education system. I'm forever grateful to you and for you for what you did during really some of the hardest times that those children and families and all of us endured during that time. So God bless you, God bless your work, and thank you for what you do and other educators like you across our great state. Thank you, Senator Hinojosa, for this great resolution.
Chair recognizes Senator Hinojosa to close on the resolution.
Thank you, Senator Colcourse. And am I seeing Georgia Neblett up there? Just wanted to say hi. Is the judge with you as well? Thank you so much for everything that you've done and what you do for Port Aransas. And with that, I move adoption.
Is there objection to the adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. Send Judge Connie Scott a message letting her know that today is Hunt County Day and you accidentally said her last name was Hunt instead of Scott and realized it just now. Chair lays out the following resolution. The Secretary will read the resolution.
Senate Resolution 208 by Middleton, commemorating the 50th anniversary of the University of Houston, Clear Lake.
The Chair recognizes Senator Middleton on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, if everyone with University of Houston Clear Lake could please stand up so we can see that you're here today. I see Hunter the Hawk in the back right there. That's easy to spot. Appreciate Hunter for making it today. And it is truly my honor to get to represent you and your Texas Senate and also honor you for 50 years, your celebration this year, half a century. I was -7 years old when y'all were started, by the way, so just FYI on that timeline. And I want to make sure that this body knows really why we started, why we were founded. It actually began because NASA needed workforce development. And we worked with the University of Houston to create the University of Houston Clear Lake to establish a program for trained engineers, physicists, mathematicians, and a beginning of the America's Space Program as well. And 50 years later, y'all are still busy launching careers in our greater Gulf Coast area and all of Texas and all of America. And y'all were initially founded as a graduate and upper division branch of the University of Houston, but you welcomed your first freshman and sophomore class in 2014. UHCL has expanded its facilities to include STEM educational programs, as well as adding University of Houston Pearland campus in 2010, so that's a great addition to y'all's system. Y'all have graduated more than 80,000 alumni in the past 50 years, an amazing task, and that's an amazing accomplishment. And today you educate more than 7,700 students at your various campuses for University of Houston Clear Lake, and I am proud to represent you here today. Thank you for all you do for our great state, providing those better educational outcomes for the next generation and those career-based tools that we need to grow our economy and our space economy as well in the Gulf Coast area. So God bless you. Thank you for coming to your Texas Senate.
Is there objection to the adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. Chair lays out the following resolution. The secretary will read the resolution.
Senate Resolution 193 by Hinojosa of Nueces, recognizing March 5th, 2025 as Harlingen Day at the state capitol.
Chair recognizes Senator Hinojosa of Nueces.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. It's been a great day for Senate District 27 as we have a lot of cities today. And so bear with me. This is in recognition of the city of Harlingen. Today we recognize the city of Harlingen, a city that stands as a pillar of strength and opportunity in the Rio Grande Valley. With a rich history and strategic location, Harlingen has long been a center for commerce, education, and transportation, connecting South Texas to the rest of the state and beyond. Its strong sense of community and culture make it a shining example of what makes Texas great. Harlingen is a city on the rise with a thriving economy driven by international trade, healthcare, and small businesses. It's a place where hard work fuels growth and where families and leaders come together to sit around the table and talk. With top-tier schools, incredible medical facilities, and a flourishing arts and cultural scene, Harlingen continues to evolve while staying true to its deep-rooted values. Today, for Harlingen Day, we recognize and applaud the city of Harlingen for their achievements and look forward to even greater success ahead. Thank you for coming and welcome to your state capitol. As I call your name, please stand and be recognized. Mayor Norma Sepulveda. There you are, Mayor. Commissioner Ford Kinsley. Commissioner Daniel Lopez. UTRGV Executive Veronica Gonzalez. EDC Director Orlando Campos. And City Manager Gabriel Gonzalez. Thank y'all so much and welcome to your state capitol.
Chair recognizes Senator Hinojosa of Hidalgo.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Senator Hinojosa. I guess today is Senator Hinojosa's day for resolutions. But I must say, Harlingen is a great city. I love Harlingen. For many, many years, they were the only city that had a direct flight to Austin, Southwest Airlines, which is great for that contribution to help us get to our state capital. But in addition to that, you go down to Harlingen, they got a beautiful downtown, historic downtown is being developed. And it's just so nice to go and see some of the renovations that are taking place in the city of Harlingen. But also sometimes people forget that the UTRGV School of Medicine actually started in Harlingen to the Regional Academic Center. So Harlingen plays a very key role in the Rio Grande Valley in our economic growth, in our medical school, and also in the way it has its own port, land port and a seaport. So thank you, Senator Adam Hinojosa, for bringing this resolution. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Senator Hinojosa of Nueces to close on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Senator Hinojosa, for those kind words. Thank you again, Harlingen. With that, I move adoption.
Is there objection to the adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. Resolution's adopted. Chair lays out the following resolution. The secretary will read the resolution.
Senate Resolution 190 by Hinojosa of Nueces, recognizing March 5th, 2025 as City of Alamo Day at the state capitol.
Chair recognizes Senator Hinojosa of Nueces.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you again, members, for bearing with me today on this busy day here at the state capitol. Today, we proudly recognize the city of Alamo, a vibrant community that embodies the heart and heritage of South Texas. Known as the land of two summers, Alamo is home to the Santa Ana National Wildlife Refuge, a natural treasure that attracts visitors from around the world. Its rich culture, strong economy, and hardworking residents make it a vital part of the Rio Grande Valley in our great state. Alamo is a city of growth and opportunity. It is driven by a strong workforce, committed leaders, and a deep sense of pride in its history and future. From its local businesses and schools to its community events and cultural celebration, Alamo continues to be a place where people come together to build a better tomorrow. As we honor the city of Alamo at the Texas Capitol, we recognize its people, its leadership, and its bright future. This city serves as a reminder of the strength found in community and collaboration. We celebrate Alamo's contributions to Texas and look forward to its continued prosperity. Thank you, City of Alamo, for being here, and welcome to your state capitol. And again, as I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Mayor J.R. Garza. Mayor Pro Tem Roel Moreno Jr. Commissioner Oki Salinas. Commissioner Pete Morales. Commissioner AJ Garcia. City Manager Bobby Salinas. And Assistant City Manager Alex Rangel. Thank y'all so much for being here. It's great to see you, and welcome to your state capitol.
Is there objection to the adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. Chair recognizes Senator Middleton for a recognition.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Members, in the gallery today, we're visited by representatives from Deer Park and LaPorte Chamber of Commerce. If you could stand up here, I see y'all in the corner right there. So being recognized is our Deer Park Chamber President Paula and the LaPorte Chamber President Jeff Martin. I think y'all are both here today. Paula, it's good to see you, Jeff. Also represented at our LaPorte ISD School Board member Mason Perez, I believe, is here, or he may have had to go back to the district actually. And I also see my friend Tom Butler, our TDLR commissioner, is up there. Thank you, Tom, for all you do and all the hard work at the Deer Park and LaPorte Chamber of Commerce. Founded in 1892, Deer Park and LaPorte's, believe it or not, the same year, are some of the oldest cities in the greater Harris County area. And I believe LaPorte is actually the oldest incorporated city in East Harris County. And it is truly a beacon of our history. Following the Battle of San Jacinto, Sam Houston and the provisional government traveled to Dr. George Moffett Patrick's cabin in current day Deer Park to draft the initial treaty paper securing Texas' independence from Mexico, which we just celebrated this past Sunday. And as we know, the San Jacinto Monument is in LaPorte. And today we're home to some of the largest industries in our state, whether that's Shell Deer Park, Lyondell Basell LaPorte, or Total. And today, Deer Park and LaPorte both continue to make their massive economic impact in the energy, chemical, and manufacturing industries. And really all of Texas and all of America depends on the businesses in Deer Park and LaPorte. Our entire economy does. So thank you for all you do, and I'm excited to represent you in your Texas Senate and recognize you today. So thank you for coming to your Texas Capitol.
Chair recognizes Senator Campbell for recognition.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like Mr. Dwayne Nauman, who's to my left, to stand up. Hi, Mr. Nauman. Members, I want to welcome and recognize a constituent, Mr. Dwayne Nauman, who recently retired from the Texas State Guard as Commander Sergeant Major that was assigned to the Alamo Guard.
Sergeant Major Nauman officially relinquished his position of senior enlisted leadership on February the 22nd, 2025, and officially retired March the 1st, just a few days ago. Commander Sergeant Major Nauman served the great state of Texas for 21 years, especially in time of several natural disasters, and we know how our State Guard helps. He helped in Katrina, Rita, Dolly, Edward, Harvey, in areas of rescue and recovery. Commander Sergeant Major Nauman, thank you so much for the service you have given to the state of Texas. Members, help me thank him. Welcome to your state capitol.
Sergeant Major, you won't remember this, but you inflicted my first MRE on me, as well as when we were doing some field work. You told me to follow these directions and go to a certain place with my compass, and I never found it. But thanks for your leadership, and you did a great job for the State Guard. The chair lays out the following resolutions. The secretary will read the resolutions.
SR 214 by Eckhart. SR 216 by Blanco.
Members, this is a voice vote. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolutions are adopted. Members, if there is no objection, I would like to postpone the reading and referral of bills and resolutions until the end of today's calendar. Hearing no objection, so ordered. The chair recognizes Senator Middleton for a recognition.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, today we're joined by Impact Pasadena Leadership Program. If you could stand up here today, I see Christina, the Chamber President, up here joining us. And on behalf of myself and Senator Alvarado, who also represents part of Pasadena and Senate District 6. We want to welcome you to your Texas capital. The Impact Pasadena Leadership Program is by the Pasadena Chamber of Commerce, and it has an incredible mission of developing leaders who participate in a year-long program. And this is about building future leaders in our community. That's y'all's mission, and y'all been very successful in that. I see so many future leaders up there in the gallery, and with more than 50 graduates of the program since 2019, these are a few numbers. I have some colleagues that like the numbers over here. What gets measured gets fixed, right? That's the Senator Betancourt motto. So here's some numbers here. 86% of graduates of the program are in leadership positions in their workplace or industry, so that's an incredible outcome. And 100% of graduates say that this has helped them tremendously professionally to advance their career or start a business. So I want to recognize you and your incredible accomplishments. Thank you for coming to your Texas Capitol and your Texas Senate. And Senator Alvarado is here joining me in this recognition. She's very proud of y'all's work and proud to represent Pasadena with myself. So thank y'all. And Senator Betancourt says hi as well. He likes the math that y'all have got up there. The results speak for themselves. Thank you. God bless you.
Members, we're going to take a very short break until we start our calendar, so we'll stand at ease. Senate will stand at ease until 12:20.
Senate will come to order. Thank you for your patience, members. Some things that had to be done before we could get back to the floor. Members, that concludes the morning call. Senator Huffman, you are recognized on committee substitute for Senate Bill 5 to suspend the regular order of business.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, at this time I move to suspend the regular order of business to take up the committee substitute Senate Bill number 5. Members, the elderly population in the United States is expected to double to more than 70 million by 2030. With the rapid growth in the number of older Americans, prevention and treatment of chronic diseases of aging will take on growing importance. Dementia is a disease of particular concern because it robs a person of their thoughts and memories, the very essence of that person. It leads to a loss of quality of life and independent function that places an immense burden on families and loved ones and our overall healthcare system. A new study shows that the risk of developing dementia after age 55 among Americans is 42%. That translates into an estimated 500,000 new cases this year, rising to 1 million new cases a year by 2060. Furthermore, the population of Americans aged 65 and older with Alzheimer's or other dementias is projected to grow from 58 million in 2022 to 82 million by 2050. Texas ranks third in the nation in the number of Alzheimer's cases, with the Department of State Health Services reporting that about 459,000 Texans being diagnosed. Furthermore, Texas Medicaid costs for Alzheimer's patients alone were estimated to be nearly $4 billion in 2024. Dementia is a growing problem, and the Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas, known as DPRIT, will help Texas become a leader in combating these diseases. DPRIT is specifically designed to accelerate research into dementia, attracting top talent to our state, and creating high-quality jobs. But the most important goal is to improve the health and quality of life for Texans impacted by dementia. There's no better place than Texas to take on this challenge. We have world-class medical centers and researchers. Our business-friendly tax and regulatory environment puts Texas at a unique advantage to become the epicenter of biomedical research. DPRIT is intentionally modeled after the Cancer Prevention and Research Institute of Texas, a proven institute delivering on the promise to accelerate advancements in cancer prevention and treatments. The Oversight Committee, composed of 9 members appointed by the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the speaker, is responsible for the overall governance and direction of the institute. The committee substitute requires the first presiding officer of the Oversight Committee to be selected by the governor from one of the governor's appointees. The members will consist primarily of physicians or scientists with extensive experience in the dementia-related fields, as well as family members and caregivers. The Oversight Committee will hire the CEO, set grant priorities, and adopt a code of conduct and rules to administer the institute. DPRIT would also have a peer review committee composed of experts in the field, and their role will be to evaluate and recommend grants. The Program Integration Committee, consisting of members of the Oversight Committee and the Health and Human Services Commission, will ensure that research projects align with the goals of the Institute. It will also have a Higher Education Advisory Committee comprised of representatives from major university systems and medical institutions providing guidance on higher education-related issues and opportunities for dementia research. One of the Institute's primary duties will be to award grants to attract, create, or expand research capabilities of eligible institutions of higher ed and other public or private entities. Grants can cover research into the causes, prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation of dementia, the development of therapies and pharmaceuticals, facilities and equipment, and prevention programs. The bill also creates a new fund that'll be contingent on voter approval of the committee substitute to SJR 3 to be administered by DPRIT, called the Dementia Prevention and Research Fund. The committee substitute to SJR 3 transfers $3 billion from general revenue to the fund. Like CPRIT, appropriations will be limited to $300 million per year, except for unexpended balances from prior years. All grant proposals must undergo a peer review process, and final grant awards must be approved by the Oversight Committee. To ensure fairness in the grant-making process, the bill establishes very strict conflict of interest rules. Additionally, DPRIT must submit annual reports to the legislature and is required to commission an annual independent financial audit that shall be reviewed by the comptroller. DPRIT is also subject to the Texas Sunset Act and will be abolished on September 1st, 2035, unless its existence is extended by law. The committee substitute to Senate Bill 5 would take effect on December 1st, 2025, contingent on the constitutional amendment being approved by the voters. Texas voted in 2007 to create CPRIT and to invest $3 billion in the state's unprecedented fight against cancer. Then, again in 2019, Texas voters overwhelmingly approved a constitutional amendment to continue CPRIT's work and invest an additional $3 billion. CPRIT is now a $6 billion, 20-year initiative, the largest state cancer research investment in the history of the United States, and the second largest cancer research and prevention program in the world. Members, I believe that DPRIT will follow this success and position Texas as a national leader in combating dementia and related disorders, accelerating groundbreaking research, and improving the lives of millions of Texans. I want to thank the Lieutenant Governor for making the creation of DPRIT one of his very top priorities. He's advocating for Texas families, as we all are, that have been impacted by this terrible disease. I move to suspend the rules, Mr. President and members.
Senator Menendez, for what purpose?
Questions of the author, Mr. President.
Do you yield?
Of course, yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Senator Huffman. And as we spoke earlier today, we were talking about your bill. First of all, let me thank you, you and the President, for this bill. As we discussed, dementia has got to be one of the most terrible diseases. There are many, but for the caregivers, for the family members, to have a family member who at some point in their journey through dementia may not even recognize them and who they are is just a horrific thing for the family and the member. One of the questions I have is, it's called Dementia Prevention Research Institute. Now, dementia, it's my understanding, is an umbrella term to describe a collection of brain diseases. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
So underneath it is Alzheimer's, it's vascular dementia, frontal temporal dementia, Lewy body dementia, and I think some others. That's correct?
Correct, yes.
My understanding is that we still have a very limited understanding of early stages of dementia, and so therefore very difficult to look for ways to prevent dementia. Is that?
That's correct, yeah.
So as we move forward, this DPRIT would be able to conduct research. One of the things that I'm interested in, I wanted to ask you, research on the impact of dementia on caregiving on the caregiver as well, because I think, yes, we want to take care of the person that's suffering from the dementia, but in many cases, we find where it is a spouse of someone suffering from dementia, and we don't really even know what the impact is on the family members and the caregivers. Is that something that might be eligible?
Well, I think as more and more research occurs and we know more about the causes and how to prevent it, certainly the role that the caretakers and so forth would have in the lives of those suffering from the disease and the treatment that they need, I think would all be part of research, because again, we're going to try to look for ways to both treat it and prevent it. So I think that's certainly a role that should be looked at, as these decisions are made about how to, spend this money.
You envision that DPRIT would be able to fund research exploring the connection between Down syndrome and Alzheimer's? Because my understanding is that there is an often overlooked connection, because it appears that Alzheimer's disease and Down syndrome, within 9 in 10 people with Down syndrome develop a type of dementia. Would you envision that? I
would envision that as the Institute makes decisions about what they want to research, that there would be, just a myriad of situations. That's why we try to keep the language broad, to leave these decisions to the experts. And I think that's the way that we should leave it. And if they determine that there's, a grant program that should be distributed with that specific research and it meets all the standards, I don't think anything's off the table as long as it meets the standards that are expected in this legislation.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Huffman, I want to thank you, the President, Senator Campbell, Senator Hinojosa, and everyone that's been involved in this, because I know it's been a big team effort. San Antonio has a significant investment already been made. It's one of the few places where the NIH has made an investment in the study of Alzheimer's and dementia through the Glenn Biggs Institute. And so this is very important. It's near and dear to my heart. Never thought we'd have to deal with it, but I don't wish this disease to touch anyone's family because it is so difficult. And so thank you for what you're doing, and thank you, Mr. President, members, for indulging my questions.
Thank you, Senator Menendez.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Hinojosa from Hidalgo. What purpose?
Well, Senator Huffman, yield for a couple of questions.
You yield?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. One of the things that was very interesting and very moving was the testimony we heard at the Finance Committee on the impact that dementia has on families. And very, very, very touching stories. Pretty obvious that this is a disease that that impacts most of our families, most of our communities, and cuts a wide swath across all families in our state.
Yes, so we saw that. It was literally, I've sat through so many hearings over the years, many with victims of crime, and where we've all shed tears, but that was genuinely one of the most emotional hearings I've ever sat through, because all the testimony was so from the heart. It was quite obvious.
And one other thing, to answer part of Senator Menendez's questions, we also heard testimony from experts that specialize in research in dementia. And they describe all the subheadings, if you will, of the subdiseases that fall under the broad category of dementia. And this bill covers that.
It tries not to be prescriptive about what dementia and dementia-related disorders would mean, because we want to leave that to the experts, and that could change as time goes on and more research and discoveries are made about which direction we should go in. So I don't think we should be prescriptive. It's meant to, but it is towards dementia, yes.
And it's somewhat modeled over CPRIT, the Cancer Prevention Institute, Research Institute that we passed previously, that has been very successful in research and trying to provide cures and identifying different type of cancers that we have. And they've been extremely successful, as you said a while ago, probably the type of research that we have funded most than any other state in the nation. But we also learned some lessons from CPRIT, some of the do's and don'ts. And all the don'ts we have corrected and addressed in the Senate Bill 5.
Right. Yes, everyone who was around will admit that CPRIT had a rocky start, right? But those problems were resolved with legislative, oversight and legislative, fixes, and all of that's been incorporated in this legislation with great thought. And we've worked very closely with CPRIT as we wrote this bill and took suggestions from them to work through these issues to make sure that we could start off, and right off the starting gate and go full speed ahead. That's the goal.
Well, thank you for your leadership and taking the lead on Senate Bill 5. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hinojosa.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Members, any objections suspending the regular order of business? Hearing none. The chair lays out the motion, the rules are suspended. The chair lays out now on second reading. Committee substitute for Senate Bill 5. Secretary, read the caption.
Committee substitute Senate Bill 5 relating to the creation of the Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas.
You're recognized on passage to engrossment.
I move passage to engrossment of Committee substitute Senate Bill 5.
Any objection? Hearing none. Bill passes to engrossment. You're now recognized for motion to suspend the constitutional 3-day rule.
So move, Mr. President.
Secretary will call the roll.
Alvarado, Bettencourt,
31 ayes, no nays. The rule is suspended. Chair lays out now on third reading and final passage. Committee substitute for Senate Bill 5. Secretary will read the caption.
Committee substitute Senate Bill 5, relating the creation of the Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas.
Senator Hancock, for what purpose?
Just to make a statement on the legislation.
You're recognized.
And Governor, I want to thank you for bringing this to light. And Senator, I appreciate you bringing the bill. As someone, you talked about hearing stories. I lived a story of dementia. My father, normally you don't live long with dementia. My father lived 8 years with dementia. The last several didn't know who I was. The last session, I would travel home on the weekends and shave him because he would, he was very mild-mannered with dementia, which is kind of rare, actually. Very nice, which you would expect with my dad. But he didn't like other people to shave him. And my brother, who lives there, had difficulty shaving, would come home. And at first it was difficult, but later on it became a sweet time, knowing that my time with him was not going to be very long. Sure enough, he passed last year of dementia. My mom ended up dementia for 3 years. It is horrible. There is no doubt. Horrible. And I wouldn't wish it on anyone. But I do believe that as government, we have a certain role and a focus of core things that we should work on. And I know right now with all the money that the federal government has printed, we're flush full of money. And my vote is not a vote of not support. It's just a vote of recognizing that maybe we need to focus on other things as government, and concerns me as we add some of these on. So I do want to thank you for bringing this to light, because I'm telling you, I've got the story, and it's terrible. You know, I didn't mourn much when my dad passed. Number one, I knew he was made whole, and I was there when he passed, when he breathed his last breath. And I rejoiced in it, because I knew for the first time he was whole. Because, see, I'd lost my dad a long time ago. And what I realized afterward in talking with Robin is every week when I left in that parking lot, I mourned over and over and over again. And that's what happens when you ask, what happens to a family member dealing with dementia? That's what happens. Every time they see them, they realize, I've lost them. At the end, my dad would start to tell me something, get 2 words out, and forget what he was wanting to tell me. Sucks. A tough time. And I appreciate the thought behind it. But I did want to explain my thought in my vote today. So thank you very much. Thank you, Governor. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Senator Hancock. I've not had it in my family, but with friends. I think everybody on this floor has some connection to someone, family or friend, and it does. It's horrendous on those who are the caregivers. And we do have, unlike any other state, really, we do have the wherewithal sometimes to do great big things that impact everybody. And of the surplus dollars we have, and we know how successful CPRIT has been, there are people living today because of some of the research breakthroughs of cancer, that if we can do the same thing with this and help prevention and help research, it seems like it can be the best money that we're spending. So, but I surely so sorry to hear your story, because I know how tough it is. Senator Campbell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As a doc, there are a lot of stories, and it's hard to hear stories about dementia and Alzheimer's, I think, without being emotional. There's premature senility. This is something that actually can affect younger people. You don't have to be old. And we all know disease processes, and they affect, if I have a cancer, it affects me. You have a broken arm, it affects
the diseases affect the person. We're aware of it. We carry the pain. Obviously, parents carry the pain of their child's illness. But we carry our own illness. We remember it, we feel it and everything. But dementia is different. They know something's wrong, but they're not having the pain. They may have some abandonment feelings. But that disease is carried by family, by friends, by loved ones. And you know, it's hard to say what this bill will do, but it gives a chance, an opportunity for those who have knowledge, a scientific model that we can look at for a cure. And technology, we can't blow off technology, because what couldn't be figured out even a year ago can be looked at now. With the cognitive mapping and all the things we do that can be done out there on the brain. These dollars can go to look for a cure. From a cure, that's going to drive prevention interventions, and it's going to drive medications or treatment. So the dollars are worth it. It is not a waste. This is to look, by putting the dollars out there, we are looking at prevention. But to have a state that we love people, we've got a lot of responsibility to look after the general welfare and put dollars behind something that will save our families, hopefully. And we, you know, with these dollars, let's just tag it with prayer. That we can find, and I believe absolutely there will be a cure for dementia, for Alzheimer's, and it'll be soon, and I think Texas will be part of that. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Senator Huffman.
Thank you, Senator. And I don't know about you members, but of all the bills or ideas that I've had in 17 years here, I've never had more response on any issue than people in your family situation, Kelly, that come up and say, people that I would have never known in this building, that staff, members, lobbyists, visitors, it's been absolutely amazing. So thank you for supporting this, members. Senator Hoffman.
I would just add that Texas is rich and we are blessed. And through conservative stewardship, we find ourselves in a position where we can make this investment. And I believe that this will touch the lives of almost every Texan. And so I can't think as a body, as a legislature, that we could make a wiser, more prudent, better investment for the people of Texas and for future generations of Texas than to make this investment. So with that, I move final passage of the committee substitute to Senate Bill 5.
Secretary will call the roll.
Alvarado, Betancourt, Birdwell, Blanco, Campbell, Cook.
30 ayes, 1 nay. The bill is passed. Members, we have the SJR.
Thank you, ma'am.
Senator Huffman, you are recognized committee substitute for SJR 3.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. I move to suspend the regular order of business to take up and consider the committee substitute to SJR 3. Members, this is the constitutional amendment that goes along with the legislation that I just laid out. It will provide for the establishment of DPRIT and the Dementia Prevention and Research Fund. It establishes this fund in the Constitution. It directs the transfer of $3 billion from the State General Revenue Fund to the DPRIT Fund. As previously mentioned during my layout, the appropriations out of the fund cannot exceed more than $300 million per fiscal year, except for unexpended balances carried forward. The proposed amendment will be on the ballot for the voters of Texas to determine in November 25 at the general election. I believe that Texans will overwhelmingly support this amendment, and I move to suspend the regular order of business.
Senator Hoffman moves to suspend the regular order of business and the constitutional regular order of business. Any objection? Hearing none. The rules are suspended. Secretary lays out on second reading Committee substitute for SJR 3. Secretary, read the caption.
Committee Substitute SJR 3, proposing a constitutional amendment providing for the establishment of the Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas.
You're recognized on passage to engrossment.
I move passage to engrossment of the committee substitute to SJR 3.
Any objection? Hearing none. Bill passes to engrossment. You're recognized to suspend the 3-day rule, the constitutional 3-day rule. Any objection? Or Secretary will call the roll.
Alvarado, Bettencourt, Birdwell.
31 ayes, no nays. The rule is suspended. Chair lays out on third reading and final passage. Committee substitute for SJR 3. Secretary, read the caption.
Committee Substitute SJR 3, proposing a constitutional amendment providing for the establishment of the Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas.
You're recognized on final.
I move final passage.
Secretary will call the roll.
Alvarado, Bettencourt, Birdwell.
30 ayes and 1 nay. The SJR is passed. Thank you, Senator Hoffman, for carrying this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Members, would you please have your seats? We have a memorial acknowledgement. Please have your seats. And then members, I know we're a little behind because of some work we had to do. As soon as we are finished, everyone please go right back to the Betty King room for our meetings, okay? Your caucus chairman should have informed you of those, a meeting right after session. So if everyone will go back there right away, then we can get finished and get out to your committee hearings. Senator Miles for a memorial acknowledgement.
You know, today, members, thank you, Mr. President. Today is a very dark day in Texas. With the passing of U.S. Congressman Sylvester Turner, as he's been known of as late. Most of us just know him as State Representative Sylvester Turner. And some of us had the pleasure of knowing him as Mayor Turner for a short period of time. A servant who faithfully served Houston and the state of Texas for nearly 4 decades. Many of us were privileged to work closely with him during his 27 years in the Texas legislature, where he was well known for his impressive oratory skills, particularly on behalf of those whose voices weren't too often heard. Congressman, state representative, as I like to say, his legacy is one of tireless advocacy. He represents a fierce commitment of justice and relentless drive to improve the lives of those in need. He had an understanding, and he challenged everything every day, especially things particularly that, underrepresented people had to go through. A leader in every sense of the word. He worked and transcended party lines all the time. I had the fortune to meet and the honor to meet Sylvester right out of college in 1990. He was running for mayor for the very first time, Lieutenant Governor. And the community was bubbling. All the young men who wanted to aspire to be somebody. We all heard of this young man who had just graduated from Harvard Law and was working for a big-time law firm downtown. And he inspired, I guarantee you, about 40 of us at the same age to get involved in his campaign for mayor. Some of us went on to be senators. I know 2 that went on to be constables. I know about 5 that went on to be big-time lobbyists here in Texas and in Washington, D.C. Not to mention the plethora of lawyers that came through at that time. He always considered himself a little boy from Baker's Homes, the fofo. His mother worked at Foley's downtown. He would catch the bus from 404 all the way to University of Houston, Carol. I used to always talk about how he had to catch 4 buses in the morning to get to the University of Houston. The first suit he had when he got accepted to Harvard Law School was bought by a lady in our community. That lady came back and worked on that campaign some 12 years later. I worked at Sylvester. I was a police officer at that time, Brother King. And myself and 2 constables that are now in Houston, we take pride and privilege of being his first detail when he didn't have a detail. And he likes to tell the story that Boris Miles started with me as his driver. And I did. But he had so much charisma. He had so much influence over not just those young brothers that were coming up, but old ladies in the community, young folks. He was just a down-to-earth kind of guy. Never forgetting where he came from. Always being a public servant. The true essence of a public servant. I had the privilege of serving with him after 2 failed mayoral races, serving with him in the House. And I'll tell you a funny story how I got here. He and another brother of ours by the name of Al Edwards were walking in the hallway one day, and I had come to visit old Al because he was voting to cut chips. And District 146 was the highest usage of chips in the state of Texas. That's the district he represented. And Al wouldn't get off the floor, Royce, to meet with me. It was in 2005. He wouldn't get off the floor, 2004, he wouldn't get off the floor to meet with me. And when they adjourned, I caught him and Sylvester in the hallway. And I said, Representative, I came here to meet with you about your vote on chips. Al said, I know. I don't have nothing to say to you. Sylvester chuckled at me. He said, if you want to do something about it, if you want to change it, run against him. On the way home, Senator Nichols, I had commitments for over $300,000 to run for that position. What I'm saying to you is, genuinely, Mayor, Congressman, State Representative Sylvester Turner is the reason that I'm here with you all right now. And I enjoy being a public servant, like you used to always say. Many of you got to see when Sylvester was at the back mic, and he was trying to be a fiscal conservative. He'd bring this abacus out, and he'd say, something just don't add up right here. Or he'd say, wait a minute, TSU's getting that much, A&M's getting that much, and UT's getting that much, that don't add up. This was his abacus. And when he left the building, he stopped by my office and he said, hey, got something for you. And he signed it. Sylvester Turner, Representative Boris Miles, the 84th session, 2015. I'll cherish this forever. I'll cherish the friendship, the relationship, the guidance, and the mentoring that he gave me. Texas has lost one of its best, Sylvester Turner, a true public servant, a fantastic orator, and knew how to negotiate, Senator Bettencourt. Gone at 70. Later on this week, Madam Patsy, thank you. Karina, thank you. We're going to do a formal resolution. Mr. President, I want to thank you for giving us this time today, on this day, to say goodbye. To not just a man, but a man who knew, never forgot who he was and for which he came. And all he ever wanted to do was be a public servant. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Miles, I think it's one of your finest moments on the Senate floor. It was quite a tribute from the heart. Thank you for those of us who didn't know those stories. I didn't serve with him in the House, and your connection directly. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Senator Alvarado.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Miles, thank you for the tribute. Thank you for bringing back the abacus. In fact, Representative Bonin had a post today and said, when Sylvester broke out the abacus, I knew I was done. It was budget time. A lot of heavy hearts in the building today. Mr. President, thank you for giving us this opportunity. I know we're going to talk more about Congressman Turner when we do the memorial, but I just wanted to honor his life. Today, 14 of us served at some point with Sylvester. When I first got elected to the House, he called me because he was trying to get votes. There was a speaker's race going on, and he was trying to get votes for Speaker Craddock to get reelected. And I'm pretty sure he was instrumental in having Craddock come down to see me. And anyway, I just wanted to reflect on his life today. And many of us have been talking about various stories. Senator Creighton and I were looking at a video. I think, Brandon, I think you were a sophomore and you had an amendment. And Sylvester was at the back mic and you were talking about how scared you were because he was a great orator. And he could change votes just like that by what he articulated. He was very persuasive, very humble. And I think you lost that vote by two or three votes. But today we will honor his life and his legacy. And Mr. President, I have more to say at another time. Rest in power, Sly. Thank you.
Thank you. I've known him for a long time. We always got along, had a great personality. And Senator Huffman, you'll remember for years we couldn't get the police pension resolved. And he came up here, and I remember him in the Alamo room saying, "Governor, you can get this done. I don't want to hear you can't get this done." And with your work and the police and his work, it got done. No other mayor got that done. So I remember that time in the Alamo room. Senator Menendez, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sir Miles, thank you for bringing this forward. Sylvester, one of the things I remember distinctly is during the electric dereg discussion, there was something that he was able to get in to the legislation and defended fiercely, and we'd always have conversations about, you remember? And that was the fund to help poor people pay their bills. And it kind of goes to the point you were saying. Sylvester never forgot where he came from. It didn't matter that he was a Harvard lawyer. It didn't matter that he probably could debate or get a job anywhere he wanted. He always remembered who he represented. So Sylvester was a champion for education, for the poor, for women's rights, LGBTQ plus rights, homeless. Sylvester, I think he was so grateful and appreciative for the opportunities he had in life that he wanted to be there for those who didn't. He always spoke passionately. What I'm going to miss is his laugh. It's almost that little half cackle, half chuckle from the back mic. Disarming. But the thing, too, about Sylvester is he would work with whoever it took to make things happen. So it doesn't surprise me, Governor, that he told you that you could make it happen, because he would work with whoever it took to solve the problem. He and I often talked about his daughter who graduated from UTSA, so I want to extend my condolences to his wife, Cheryl, and his daughter, Ashley, and his son-in-law, Jamie, and his grandson, Jamison. Sylvester Turner, 36 years of dedicated life in public service, was exactly what you said. He was a true public servant. Thank you. Thank you, Senator Miles. Thank you, Mr. President.
Members, can we have just a moment of silence? Since we'll stand for resolution next week or whenever it's presented, but just a moment of silence for his in prayer. Members, are there any announcements? I think Senator Hughes had one. He's off the floor. Any other announcements? Senator Colcourse, did you have an announcement for your meeting after the caucus?
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Health and Human Services will come back from recess on this Senate floor about 10 minutes upon the adjournment of the caucus of the whole.
We can't do that. You just have to set a time.
I have to set a time. Thank you. We're going to be back in Senate Health and Human Services at 2:45.
Yeah, you might say 3.
3 o'clock. How about 3 o'clock? Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. We're coming back at 3 o'clock. We have 21 witnesses. I look forward to seeing y'all all at 3 o'clock.
Senator Zaffirini.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, members, the Senate will meet as the caucus of the whole in the Betty King Room 5 minutes upon adjournment, which should be approximately 2:18 by my phone. Roll will be called at that time.
I like how she says it. Senator Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I move to suspend the posting rules so that the Senate Committee on State Affairs can hear the following bills in addition to the previously posted bills tomorrow, March 6 at 11 a.m. or upon adjournment in the Senate chamber. Two bills we'd like to add are SB 914 by Blanco, SB 987 by Betancourt. That's my motion.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is adopted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, members.
You're recognized for a highly privileged motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate adjourn until 11 a.m. Thursday, March 6th.
Any objection? Hearing none, the Senate stands adjourned until 11 a.m. Thursday, March 6th. And she gave you 5 minutes to get to the room.